what is the optimal number of calisthenics goals to work at one time?
Instead of talking about goals, because goals, we could talk about increasing flexibility and building bigger biceps. And for that, we could do like fucking 10. Now, when it comes to skills and very specific attributes or movement patterns, again, it depends on the person. I wouldn't go more than 3. And it really depends on the level and what else do you have outside of training and a million of other factors. But let's go to the level side of it. If you're a beginner, you could definitely train for the pistol squat, L-sit, and handstand, no problem. If you are more advanced, I wouldn't recommend training for the one-arm handstand, the planche, and the Victorian. And those are 3 and 3. But the level of demand that these takes in comparison to this, it's just so much bigger. But no more than 3. Again, 4 could work, but it depends on your starting point on each skill and other factors.
I like that you made it clear on the skills that work a similar muscle group and or overall movement pattern. Even though some things you said there were full range of motion and or isometrics, they're still fatiguing those same prime mover muscles. And it's great that you mentioned that around 3 is like probably the upper limit, because if we look at it, when it comes to making progress, there's a relationship between how many goals you do and your rate of progress. More goals, less progress in terms of extent and the speed of it. You've got like one goal that you're doing, you're just going to be less frustrated and making super speedy progress. Once again, it comes back to which of those you're willing to accept, because I just want people to know that if they really want the most possible progress on X movement, just do X movement as your priority and really disregard all the noise of the other exercises. Whereas if you're someone who's like, that is really boring to me, I don't want to just do one movement, that's like specialization, I'll stop training and I'll get burnt out. I'll pick a few things. Just know that if you do that path, the consequence is that it'll take you longer.
100%. And I think people are afraid, me included, of just focusing on one thing because it's going to take longer. But I wouldn't say most of the time. Again, it depends on many factors. But it could be that you're actually going to get there faster. If you compare 2 to 3 skills, like if you just focus on 2 skills, you're going to get them, let's say, a year. And then you go to the 3rd skill while you maintain this, you get this one in a year, that's 2 years. But if you go for the 3 skills, which I've done, we could talk about my experience too, 2 years, you're probably not getting the 2 skills, the 3 skills. So it's like people think that they're gonna be going slower for less skills, but you're probably gonna be going faster. Now you could take it to the extreme of like, I'm just gonna train for the L-sit and that's it. And I'm like, no, come on, bro. Like, you could do something else if you have the time. I mean, if he has other reasons for just training the L-sit, okay. But if he's like, I'm just gonna train for the L-sit because it's the most optimal way, I'm like, I mean, if you add some pulling work, it won't hurt you. It probably is gonna help you.
Yeah, and the thing about that whole like losing a skill or being afraid of not being like to maintain things and holding on to trying to do all of your pushing exercises out of fear, having some faith that if you're doing these non-gimmicky exercises, say you're doing heavy dips, do you really think that your progress will decline that significantly on handstand push-ups, given you have a little bit of practice on the movement? Not really. It's where people should be afraid is if they just started doing, oh yeah, I just want to do just machine work now because I want to build muscle. It's a different goal, but you need to understand that your transference won't be as similar as doing like a calisthenics to a calisthenics movement.
Yeah, it's like I wanna maintain my front lever, so now I'm gonna be doing lat pull downs and bodyweight rows because those are the prime movers of the front lever. I'm gonna maintain my front lever, but I'm gonna do 0 front lever work. No, man.
A good sign that maybe you are doing too many concurrent skills is that you just plateau. I found that when I'm doing like dips, handstand push-ups, and planche, trying to do all 3 at once, I don't get better at any of the individual ones. And there's just this like perpetual state of fatigue for me personally. I find that if I was to juggle 3 skills at once, my program would have to be absolutely perfect. I couldn't deviate. Everything would have to be on point. Whereas if I just go, okay, settle for 2. Yeah, settle for 2. It will be so much simpler to progress without trying to get all this fatigue and this fear of like not having your skills.
100%. Like I've tried 3 skills in these 3 years. I've been juggling between 3 and 2 skills. I've been dropping some, grabbing others, and 2 skills seems to be the sweet spot. Like 3 skills, you do progress at the beginning, but then it's like boom, you hit a fucking wall.
Yeah.
And maybe one of those 3 skills, like maybe you keep progressing on that one, but on the 3 of them optimally, no. And then it just becomes so frustrating because it's like to get a full planche, given that everything is optimized, 2 years, like it's realistic if you just focus on maybe planche and front and that's it. But if you add to that handstands, if you add to that increasing my 1 rep max and pull-ups, holy man, increasing flexibility, then you add to that it's like, oh man, no. Like, I mean, you might get lucky and people get lucky. Like we have these outliers, but again, for us mere mortals, man, I just cannot recover. And you follow me on Instagram, you see my diets, you see my nutrition, I'm like, dial in. Yes, I have business and other stressors that has to be taken into consideration, but I'm dialed in with my training, and whenever I do too much, I just don't progress or progress way too little.
Yeah, and you think about it practically as well. Anyone that's tried to juggle 3 pushing skills, 3 pulling skills concurrently, just mentally trying to psych yourself up to give that same amount of effort on all of those in a session, I'd almost go as far as to say it's impossible to have equal effort, enthusiasm, and just like that drive to progress, because that's one of the limitations of exercise. The first exercise in your program or workout of the day, you're most fresh, you can give the most to progressing. Second, still room to do so, but it's contingent on, how much fatigue you produce from the first. And then you drop down that ladder even further to the third. Let's be honest, transparent. When you're at that last exercise of the day, it's the one where you question yourself, should I progress? Should I just drop a set?
Yes, 100%. And not only in the session itself, but also like in life and because if you're pursuing the planche, you are not thinking about the planche when you're training. You're thinking about that fucking movement before you go to bed, when you wake up. You are putting yourself in the position, like on the bathroom, or I do that. And, and then if I have like planche front lever, 1 arm handstand, is like, okay, so like this and the balance component of it. And some of them help each other, handstand push-ups, planche, for example. But some of them really, they contradict each other. Like they're like opposing muscles. Like a 1 arm handstand, which I'm working right now, the amount of push that I'm doing here, the scapula position, the balance component, the being light sometimes, the like so many other factors that it's a balanced technical skill. And then you compare that to a planche where generating more strength, more power, eating a bit more maybe, but not too much that you get too heavy. All those factors combine, it's hard to combine.
If you enjoyed that, click here for the full fitness FAQs video. Peace.